Hi, I'm Jenny Tschiesche. I'm a registered nutritionist and absolute foodie. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Cook My Grub chef Archana from Mysore Tiffins. Now, Cook My Grub, if you haven't heard of it, is available via website and app, which you can download. It really is about home-cooked food, cooked from the heart, being delivered to your home. You pre-order the food in advance. You can choose food from all over the world. But today we're talking about Southern Indian food. So Archana, we're going to be making two recipes today. We're going to be making a lentil dosa, which is like a sort of a thin pancake.
A crepe?
More like a crepe,
Crepes, yeah.
okay, and that's because of its consistency and thickness.
Yes, it's more crispier on the outside and soft on the inside, yes.
I love the sound of this. This is wonderful. So the challenge, of course, is me cooking this today with Archana's fantastic recipe. We're going to be using a chutney with that. Can you talk us through the chutney, where it comes from, some of the ingredients we're going to be using?
Yes, we are making some peanut chutney.
So we've got our roasted peanuts here. So
Yes.
these are unsalted, aren't they?
Yes, they are unsalted. And we'll be using one onion. We have white here, but ideally we use red onions because it has a little sweetish tinge to it.
Much sweeter, yes.
And
of
less
course.
pungent. And 3 garlic cloves. Then we have some desiccated coconut that we have rehydrated. Some salt to taste.
And just to say about the rehydrating the desiccated coconut, I love coconut, and you could use fresh coconut in this, could you not?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can buy a coconut, grate it yourself, or get it frozen from the
Frozen coconut.
frozen grated coconuts. I mean, yeah, I'm being a little lazy, I opt for that.
Love laziness.
Yes. It goes, with a Coke,
Yeah.
Anything that is conveniently available. Go for
It's
it.
still the same ingredient.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
you can rehydrate desiccated.
Yes, that works equally well.
Okay, so if
That's
you've got desiccated coconut in your cupboards, just rehydrating it. Brilliant,
That's right.
love that.
And we have 2 types of dried red chilies here.
Okay, what types are these?
This we call it as the Byadgi chili that comes from a region in Karnataka, from where I come from. This gives more flavor, more fragrance, and a good color to the chutney.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
And this is the Guntur chili. This comes from the neighboring state of Andhra.
Okay.
In southern part of India, and this gives a lot of heat.
Okay.
So if you like your chutney spicy, just go for this. If you like it, with good color and less spice, more flavor, go for
Are those different sort of traditions based on the geography of the state?
It's just regional, you just buy whatever that's local.
Right, okay, and then these are the more kind of fragrant and aromatic, and these are the hot chilies, okay.
There's one thing though, sometimes you may not find this chili here in the UK, so you can substitute it with Kashmiri chilies.
Kashmiri chilies, I
That's
have heard of
available
those,
everywhere. So it's pretty much probably from the same family.
Fab. Okay, so we've got our peanuts, we've got our onion, ideally red, we've got our garlic, we've got our rehydrated coconut, but you could use fresh or you could use that frozen, which I'm taking home with me, that top tip, and some salt, and then we're going to be tempering that, tempering a little bit of oil with some mustard seeds, and a little bit of water.
Yep.
So now we're going to put that all into the food processor. So what I should say is you don't need this really high-powered blender. I'm using a Thermomix today, but Archana, you were saying you use something else at home.
Yes, if I'm making a small batch, I can always use a bullet. That's what I have in hand.
Yeah.
So for 2 or 3 people, that's good enough.
Yeah, and even if you had a less powerful processor, it just might take a little bit longer, but really accessible to all. So in we go. We've got our roasted nuts unsalted going in. We've got our onion. Now, because we're using a white onion here rather than the red, you've recommended, Archana,
I would use half.
Half, but we really go in with this garlic, don't we?
Yes.
Now, tell me a little bit about the garlic. You were saying that the garlic actually can help with the digestion, and the onion too. So
onion is more for the flavor. Garlic, yes. And for the dal, as we said, for the dosa, since we're using so much dal, we'll be using ginger and mint.
Oh yes, which are also digestive aids. Yeah, wonderful.
So that helps. Yeah.
So we're going in with our rehydrated coconut. We've used desiccated coconut. You could use fresh or your frozen. We're also going in now. Which of the chilies would you recommend?
I would go with the Kashmiri or the Byadgi chilies here.
So the Kashmiri is the version that we should be able to get here in this country, but you've brought these from home?
Yes, I do.
Now, whereabouts exactly is it that you're from?
I'm from Mysore. It's in the southern part of Karnataka. I mean, many people have heard of Mysore Tiffins, Mysore Ashtanga Yoga. Mysore is very famous for the yoga sessions that happens, and a lot of people from worldwide.
It's funny how people connect with an area, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah, I mean, obviously as foodies, we think it's always about the food, but there are other things that come from other areas.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as a matter of fact, we did an event, I did an event with Cook My Grub.
Yes.
In Cheshire, and like I was doing Mysore masala dosa, and there are so many people there who could immediately connect to Mysore masala dosa because they had come to Mysore to learn Ashtanga Yoga.
Oh, I love
and,
that.
I felt so proud, Mysore is on the map, why not? I mean, it felt really good.
How big is Mysore? Is it?
Mysore, the state of Karnataka is pretty much as big as UK, I must say.
Right, wow.
Around,
Okay, that puts it into perspective.
And the population pretty much matches the UK.
Yeah, gosh.
I mean, yeah, I know.
That's incredible. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so we're going in with some salt here. Now, we're using everything at the moment. There's no seasoning in here. Tell me when.
Salt is up, your taste.
Yeah, a little bit more.
That's good enough.
Yeah,
since we're
sounds
using
good.
Okay. Yeah, not the powder salt. Yeah.
Right, so we're going to grind this up, and I'm going to try and get the consistency right, but I've got the professional here with me, so she can tell me when the consistency is right.
Maybe a little more, you can add some water.
A little bit of water?
Yeah, because it will grind a little more faster.
Pass me the water, and we'll add a little bit.
Let me do that.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's about 100 ml of water is what we have added so
Great,
far.
we're going to give this
We can always add more.
Lovely. Okay, let's see what we've created in here. Oh my golly, the smell. Oh, I'm sure you're very familiar with this smell, but it's just absolutely wonderful. Right, well, let's not waste any. Let's take it off the lid first.
Oh,
okay.
yes.
So we'll take this off. So this is the kind of consistency that we're looking for.
Yes.
It's
just right.
Yeah, so there's still a little bit of the texture of the coconut in there.
Yep.
Okay.
And also the peanuts, you can still see the red chilies over there.
Yeah.
Those little specks.
Now, is this a recipe that you would have had in your childhood? Or is this something that you've only created as an adult?
We use coconut chutney for most of the dosas.
Okay.
This is just another variation, which we kind of borrowed from the restaurants that we eat or from a friend's place, something like that. And, I felt, this peanut chutney goes better with the lentil dosa than the coconut chutney.
Right, okay.
So,
and why do you think that is? Why do you think the peanut goes better with the dosa than others? Is it to do with
I think it's the flavor, because coconut chutney has its own unique flavor that goes well with the other fermented dosa that we use.
Yeah.
The best part of this lentil dosa that we are making is not fermented. It doesn't need any fermentation.
Yes, I did.
So it's instant.
Yeah.
Just soak and grind.
So let me show you, this is the texture that we're looking for.
Good.
I won't tip it because it will come out. But it looks amazing. You can see the flecks of the beautiful chilies that we've used in there. And it's got a little bit of texture to it. So we're going to be using that. Now, on top of that, we're going to be taking a little bit of either coconut oil or ghee.
Any oil at hand.
Any oil at hand, okay. And we're going to be using some mustard seeds, aren't we?
Black mustard seeds.
Wonderful. So next we're going to get some coconut oil or some ghee or whatever oil you've got to hand. We're going to be using coconut oil, and we pop this into the pan, don't we, to heat up.
About a teaspoon of oil.
About a teaspoonful. Obviously it's a bit cold in here, so our coconut oil isn't as it would be if we were in India, where it would probably be liquid all the time, wouldn't it?
Yes.
There we go. Right. So we wait for that to heat. And we get a nice bit of heat in there, don't we? And then we pop the black mustard seeds in there.
Almost, with smoke, so that, the mustard seeds splutter quickly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to these. These are quite aromatic as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Where else would you use black mustard seeds in your cooking?
Almost every dish, be it a rasam or sambar, that's the end of the cooking style of, you put the tadka or the tempering. In our language, we call it as waggarne.
Right, okay.
And yes, and that's the end of the cooking part of it. Yeah.
So in terms of the recipes that you do cook, the ones that you share, and I love this idea of sharing your home cooked recipes with other people. That's what Cook My Grub is all about.
Absolutely.
So in terms of those recipes, what else can people, what other delights can people enjoy from your home cooked food? What else do you do?
The reason, I signed up for Cook My Grub is one, my son is off to college, so I have plenty of time in hand. Mm-hmm. Two was I want to bring Mysore on the map, Karnataka on the map. There is so much cuisine around, people are not very aware of it, especially in UK, not in the US.
Yeah.
Here in UK, people are aware of the Punjabi food, the North Indian food. But when I live in Windsor, and when I go around looking for some South Indian food, I don't find many restaurants serving the kind of food that I'm used to eating.
So there's there's an educational role here. You're educating people in Southern Indian cooking, which I absolutely love.
Absolutely.
And I like the fact that you even pointed out there are 5 states that we're talking about, and each state has its own regional cookery.
Oh, they have their own unique dishes, born and bred, I can say.
Yeah. And I mean, typically, would you say the type of food that you cook is vegetarian? Is that, or do you cook other food as well? Do you use meat in your cooking?
I'm a vegetarian, so there are, to be very honest, there are a lot of people who eat meat dishes and cook meat dishes. Again, it's very regional in Karnataka.
Okay.
Again, it depends on the community that you come from. The community that I come from, we don't eat meat.
Right, okay, so your family wouldn't, so the food you cook would not be anything other than vegetarian.
Correct. There are people who don't even eat egg, but we have kind of moved on from that phase of
do.
So,
okay, I think we're ready to go in here.
Oh, yes,
we're going to give this a go.
Let's
we've got some nice hot oil, and we're going in with our black mustard seeds. Now we wait until they pop and splutter a little bit, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, we can see they're moving about. They're having a little mustard seed party in there, and it smells lovely. Just give them a little bit. Should we give them a little bit more heat?
Let's
see if they want a little bit more
Once
heat.
it starts dancing, we can just put
I love that. Once the mustard seeds are having a party. So what other recipes can we expect from you? We've got the dosa, we've got the chutney. What else could we get from you if we wanted a Friday night in with a banquet of Mysore Tiffin food?
Sure. I have idli. The fermented part of the
I know that one, yes.
Yes, idli, sambar and chutney. Sambar is very popular in my cuisine.
Remind me, sambar, is that the one with the lentils and the rice? Is that correct?
No, that's bisibedebhat.
Okay. So sambar is?
Sambar is just the lentils with the vegetables and using sambar powder, which is ground with coconut. I know it's very popular with the Cook My Grub people. I have people asking for it. Yes, so yes, sambar is a popular one.
Yeah.
Rasam is a more thinner version. It has its own different masala rasam powder that we use.
Yeah.
And they're all comfort food, Jenny.
Most of it, food.
They are easy on your tummy. You just, you can just have it anytime. It's like you're a mac and cheese, or you're.
Can you hear it?
I can hear that.
Yeah.
It's
and we're getting a little bit of spluttering. So the mustard seeds are now having their party. So this is the point. Do we take them out now?
Yes.
Okay, so let's make sure we turn this off.
Yeah.
And we'll take this out. Yeah. Look, they're really having such a party. They're flying out of the pan. A few of them want to escape. And then we just pour this over the chutney.
Yes, we do.
I love this. This is great. Look at this.
Ooh, nice.
Wow.
Awesome. Now that looks pretty, isn't it?
It does look pretty. Unfortunately, I managed to spill it beyond the bowl. But there you go. That's what cooks
okay. Those are small kitchen accidents that happen. That makes what kitchen is, right? You can't make it a professional one.
Exactly.
Kitchen,
Oh, it looks amazing. I can't wait to try this with the dosa. So now we're moving on to a crepe-like dosa. Dosa, where does the word dosa come from? Do you know? Does it relate to the thickness or the...
I'm really not very sure, even with the origin of dosa, because there are a couple of states, the state of Tamil Nadu and state of Karnataka, we do use dosa.
Yeah.
I mean, we make them from generations. I don't know. I'm really not sure. That's a good question. I should go back to.
And we say lentil dosa. These are made with a multitude of different pulses, aren't they? We've got.
Yes.
Can you talk me through some of these? Because I'm looking at this. I went and got all the ingredients at the weekend, and I soaked these. These have been soaked overnight, but at least 6 hours, you say.
6 hours is good.
but some of these have got great names. Would you mind talking us through these different dals?
Yes. This is the urad dal.
Urad dal, okay.
It's called as the black lentils.
Yeah.
The whole is, the dal is the split form of lentils.
I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah.
So this is the black lentil, and
Yeah.
when you split and you hull it, this is what it looks like from the inside.
So it's a black lentil, but when you split it, it becomes white.
Yeah, I mean without the hull. Without
yes,
the,
without the outside on it, of course. Yeah.
And this is used for, this is a bit slimy, kind of mucousy. That is what is used to ferment the regular dosa that we know, the masala dosa, the set dosa.
So you can get the fermented and the unfermented, and today we're making an unfermented.
Unfermented dosa, this is another variation. So this is the urad dal, and this is the moong dal. This moong dal is from the green moong bean.
Yes, I know that one, yeah.
So you usually sprout it. Again, this is a split moong bean. That's green on the outside, but when you split it, it's yellow in the inside.
Right, okay.
This is the moong dal.
Yeah.
This is the tuar dal. Tuar dal is basically what we use for our sambars and rasams and our bisibele bath. That's the pigeon piece, if I'm not mistaken.
You are right, yes, that's how I read it, yeah.
Yes, so this is the split pigeon piece. This is the chana dal, and that's the split chickpeas.
Yeah, which we may be more familiar with.
Yeah. With your hummus and the other stuff. Yes, so this is the chana dal, and this is the raw rice. It's preferred to use raw rice than the boiled rice or the jasmine rice because this is a little less starchier compared to that.
And it's a slightly shorter grain. I mean, what would people be looking for in the supermarket if they were looking for this?
This is called as the sona masuri. This is our daily rice that we eat with sambar and rasam.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is not as aromatic as basmati rice, but basmati rice can be used as well.
Okay, so if you can't get this rice, you could use basmati.
It works.
And so we soak all of the dals
and rice too. You can do that too.
So you could soak them in the same water.
Absolutely.
We're going to discard the water. We may need to add a little bit more back in when we make the batter, but we're going to grind these down again using a food processor, but again it just would take a little bit longer if you had.
Yeah, I mean it's just that the bullet what I use, it's small. I do have a proper mixer grinder at home.
Right.
If I'm using in bigger quantities.
Okay. So
any blender should work too. Yeah, as you said, it may take a little longer than usual. Yeah, and because it should be almost a smooth consistency.
The smoothness, you say it comes from the soaking. But also soaking can help break down the things that are less digestible in the pulses, can't they? And in the rice as well.
Since most of these dals are could be a bit gassy, if you're not used to it.
If you're not used to it, yeah. So soaking helps.
Soaking helps.
Right.
And adding, ginger and mint is a natural digestive, so that helps in the
And here we have our ginger and our mint, and we've got our chili as well.
Yes.
Note the seeds in, so we're going to be popping all that in. So we just need to drain off the water that these have been soaking in, and then I'll bring those back over and we'll pop all of these other beautiful aromatic tasty ingredients into the food processor, and we'll be making our batter. Very excited.
Yes, can't wait.
Okay, so now we have soaked our dal and our rice. We've drained that. They were soaked for at least 6 hours. In fact, these were soaked overnight. Now, the true test, Archana, is when you put it between your fingers and give it a little rub. You can see how easy that's breaking up.
Yes.
So that's the key. So that's when we know.
That's how it works.
Now, the soaking, if you were to leave it, I mean, it's cool here in the UK at the moment. So these were just left out overnight on the kitchen surface. But if it was a hot climate or a really hot day in a British kitchen, what would you do? Would you still leave them out on the side, or?
Yeah, I mean, still on your counter is fine. Maybe a few hours lesser. Again, it's the same test. If you feel that it's breaking between your fingers,
that's when it's ready.
Then it's ready. Yeah.
Okay,
as
brilliant.
Simple as that.
So that's the true test. So we're going to pop these into the food processor with all the other ingredients, and we'll go from there. Okay, in we go with our soaked pulses, our soaked dals. There we go. Now, Archana, do we grind these up first before we add the other ingredients, or would we
You can just dump everything
Just dump
in.
everything in. I love that kind of cooking.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's make
Life
sure we
made
don't
simple.
put it all in at once.
Yes.
This
We
is
will be
great.
needing a little water because, since we have drained a bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you
let's put in these ingredients and then
Okay.
add some water.
So we've got our ginger. Again, really good for flavour and digestion.
Oh, yes.
And again, this is quite chunky ginger, and we're popping this in. We're going to go in with our chilli with the seeds in. Green chilies is what we're using, but we could change that up a little bit.
Bird's eye, rocket, woman.
Really go for it.
Anything, whatever suits you.
And mint, again, really easing
Yes,
digestion.
A cup full of mint, or if you need it more, add more. You can even have a variation adding coriander leaves.
Yeah.
Along with this, that works too.
Okay, so coriander would work too. Do we add anything else at this stage? Or do we grind this up and then we add?
We could add salt now. That's fine.
Okay, so let's grab our salt. So we're just going to use some sea salt flakes for this.
Yes.
And again, we just want to go in with a reasonable amount. Okay. And we just grind that up.
Yes, we'll just add a dash of water.
A dash of water at this stage, just to loosen up a little bit. Right, let's get the lid back on. We can't actually use the food processor without the lid on. And then let's give it a whiz.
Should be ready by now.
Yeah, I have to say it's looking.
I can already smell the mint from here.
That is fantastic. Look at the colour of that. Wow. Okay, so I need the expert here to tell me, is this the right consistency?
Yes, and we'll also be adding the millets here.
Yeah, so we've got two different types of millet flour. Why? What different types are there? I'm fascinated.
It's just making our dosa a little more healthier.
Okay, so millet is a naturally gluten-free grain. Is this a grain that is from the southern Indian state is it grown there?
This is grown in plenty in Karnataka because it's what the farmers eat. It's called, this is ragi or finger millet flour.
Ragi, okay, ragi flour. So that's the one that we're using here. Yeah. And then, of course, we're using a different type of millet, or is it just a different grind?
This is a different kind of millet called as bajra.
Bajra, okay.
And this is used to make rotis in the western states of Rajasthan and Gujarat. It's one of their staple.
It's quite dark as a flour, isn't it?
It's kind of greenish. This is almost dark brown kind of a stuff.
Oh, it's got such a kind of quite a wholesome smell to it.
Earthy.
Very earthy. Yeah, very earthy.
Yeah.
So we just pop this in and then we whisk that up.
Yes.
And that's what's going to create the thickness to this dosa batter. Okay. Right. It's quite simple, isn't it? Right, let's pop this on. We'll take this back over to give it a whiz. Let's see what we've got in here. Oh, wow. Okay.
Looks good.
So this is what we've achieved. Or shall I say, the food processor has achieved. Okay, so let's pour this so you get a really good idea of the consistency that we're looking for. Okay, so it's like a thick batter really, isn't it? That's what we created. Okay, and the beautiful green colour with the flecks of the millet in here as well.
Oh my God, it's irresistible.
With the mint and we love it. Okay, so now we get to cook these wonderful dosa. Look at the colour of this batter. So we've got this beautiful green colour batter. We're just going to take this over. We give it a little swirl as we pop it into the pan. There we go. And then we're popping a little bit of a mixture of coriander and the red onion on top, just to give it a little bit of texture. Pop the lid back on there, and we'll just let that cook from all angles, and then we'll see if we can serve it up with our beautiful chutney. Okay, for this recipe we're going to be using a little bit of ghee, but you can use whichever oil you've got to hand. I'm just going to drizzle this over the cooking dosa. So let's see where we're at. Okay, let's pop a little bit of ghee just around the edges. This gives it great flavour. That's what you were saying, isn't it?
Yes, it does.
Just great flavour. Wonderful. Give it a little bit longer, but not too long. It's cooking quickly. We're using a special tool. What's this called? Do you know what it's called?
In our local term, we call it as mokchu kai.
Right.
Is something that is used to flip.
Just to flip, but
Yeah,
you could use something if you've got something
Yeah,
similar to this, you know, a spatula or
Yeah, our local tool
yeah,
for any, use pancakes when you're flipping your burgers.
it works for that.
Absolutely.
Now the key you were saying is this: make sure that we get this crispy edge.
See there you go, the color
yes,
around it.
and the
look
colour
at
is
the
what
ghee.
we're
Look
looking
at
for.
the ghee. Oh my God, it looks
It
delicious.
looks amazing. The ghee is
Oh yeah,
just fizzing away. It's lovely. Okay, so we
awesome.
are good to go. So we're just going to fold that over.
You are a professional, Jenny, at this.
I tell
my
you,
God,
I
look.
am going to be cooking these at home
Oh,
frequently. Right, let's pop that onto the plate. Okay, now we'll just turn this off. Now, how would you serve this up, Archana? How would you present this if you were doing this at home or if you were doing this for your...
If I'm feeding my family, it's just multiple dosas on the plate. Chutney by the side like so. Ghee, there's no limit on ghee. I shouldn't be saying that at this age, but
Yeah.
And
You'd serve it?
tear it in like so.
Wonderful. So we've got that lovely crispy texture on the cooked
And
side, and then we've
in
got
your
this.
mouth.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Thank you.
That's
I
for
get to
you.
have this.
It's all your effort.
Oh my God. Those
It's the
flavours.
onion that we have in the center, it kind of adds the taste to it.
Great texture,
Right texture.
great flavour.
And
So, it's been wonderful to cook with you today, Archana. I've
My
learnt
pleasure.
loads about South Indian cooking. I'm still enjoying it right now. It's wonderful. Now, Cook My Grub and Archana, both available. Now, if you want to order some of Archana's food, if you want to order other
this
food
is on my
Cook
menu
Grub.
on Cook My Grub app and on Cook My Grub website. Yes, and it's one of the popular dishes as well. It's easy to make for me, and it's healthy version of the other dosa as well.
Yeah, the healthier version.
So yeah,
We like a bit of health.
Yeah.
So if you want to go and check out the app, check out the website, Cook My Grub is what you're looking for. There are a variety of foods cooked from all over the world, but cooked in people's kitchens here in the UK, delivered to your home, and it's truly authentic and tastes amazing. Thank you very much for listening today to me, Jenny Tschiesche. I'm a registered nutritionist, absolute foodie, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Archana.
same here. Thanks. Namaskara.